Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a solid cleansing balm. Solid cleansing balms are becoming more popular because they are oil-based products that dissolve dirt, oil, makeup from your face without stripping the skin like some soap-based products have a reputation for. My problem with some balms in the past is that they can feel a bit heavy and tacky. So I think you're really gonna like my formulation because I've created a formula here where the cleansing balm applies to your skin dry, but then you add a little bit of water into your fingers and it creates a lather that you rinse off, but it still leaves your skin feeling very healthy, glowing, and moisturized. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through my step-by-step visual process and tutorial of how to put together these beautiful and natural cleansing balms. And if you would like the full written recipe plus a full detailed step-by-step tutorial along with percentages and amounts, please head on over to my Patreon campaign where you'll be able to unlock this formula at the $7 level. This is considered my bonus recipe for the month of March. If you're in the campaign and you're at the $7 level, you have access to every bonus recipe in addition to all the recipes that are under the $5 tier as well. If you haven't had a chance to check out my campaign, I'll go ahead and place the link in the description box below for you. I hope that you'll consider checking it out. There's hundreds of recipes to take advantage of. I post weekly, sometimes twice weekly recipes and tutorials, and we're going on almost 4 years strong now of all kinds of tutorials from hair care, skin care, soap making, and candle making. It's a great way to connect with me. It's a great way to connect with other makers. I really hope to see you over there. All right, let's make some beautiful cleansing balms. All right, so before you get started, you just want to make sure that your workstation and your area is cleaned and sanitized and that anything that's going to come into contact with your raw materials is completely cleaned and sanitized. The first thing we're going to do is go ahead and weigh off some BTMS 50. Now, we're using the BTMS 50 for a couple different reasons here. First, it's going to add hardness to this cleansing bar. And we are trying to make a solid little bar that we're going to be able to pop out of a mold. And BTMS 50 is very hard and has a high melt point. So we're going to be using a little bit of that for its hardness properties, but also it is very conditioning. This is an ingredient that we use in hair care and skin care a lot for its cationic or positively charged properties, which leaves your skin and hair feeling very conditioned, smooth, silky. And then the last thing it's going to do is act as a bit of an emulsifier. Now, I'll get into that a little bit as we move along. You do not really need an emulsifier in a cleansing balm, but I am using one, which I'll get into in a little bit here. But we're going to go ahead and weigh off the BTMS 50. Just so that you know too, I have in my formulation, I have tried using Verisoft. I didn't like the way it came out as much as the BTMS 50, so I would definitely recommend this product over Verisoft. Verisoft made it a bit too hard and it didn't give it quite the conditioning feel I was going for. So then the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and weigh off some Shea Butter. So the Shea Butter in this formula is also going to add a little bit of hardness, but Shea Butter is not a super hard butter, but it's very moisturizing. It melts down very easily. This is going to help the bar harden up a little bit, but also it's going to give it some glide, and it's super nourishing. It's great for mature skin. It's just going to add a lot of decadent moisture to this cleansing balm. Shea Butter is also full of antioxidants and healing properties. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and weigh off some cocoa butter. Cocoa butter is full of antioxidants, which is also very, very good for skin healing And this also is going to help with adding some moisture. So we're going to go ahead and add in some cocoa butter. And again, this is going to also lend some hardness to our property because cocoa butter is a very brittle and hard butter. Okay. Now we're going to add a bit of liquid oil. For this formula, I have chosen Argan Oil. Argan Oil has a very silky and smooth skin feel to it. It adds a really nice slip, and it's just a really decadent feeling, nourishing oil. Has a lot of great skin and hair care properties to it. So we're going to go ahead and add in our oil. There we go. And that's going to be it for the first phase. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and place this into a double boiler system, get everything melted down. BTMS 50 takes a long time to melt down. Like I said, it's got a high melt point. So you're going to want to go ahead and get everything melted down until it's transparent. And then I will bring you back when we're ready to add in the next ingredients. All right, so this is in the process of getting melted down, and I like to add in, it's not all the way melted down yet, it's still kind of sticking to the sides a little bit. I like it to be a little bit warmer than it is now, just to ensure me some time to work. I'm sitting at around 183 degrees Fahrenheit, and I like this formula to be right around 200 when we add in the other ingredients, or start to add in the other ingredients. But right now I'm going to be adding in some bee pollen powder, and you don't have to use bee pollen powder. If you want to keep this a vegan product, you can add in something else like lemon powder or any other type of dry powdered botanical. So we are going to go ahead and add in some bee pollen powder now because it's more easily dispersed. If it's added in to the oils a little bit on the warm side. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this a little bit of a stir. Just try to get this dispersed. It's also going to add kind of a golden type color to this product. So yeah, we definitely want to warm this up a little bit more. As you can see, my formula is starting to set up around the sides of the container, and we just need it to be a little bit warmer so I can continue to work with it. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just try to scrape the sides down just to make sure that gets all back incorporated into the main dish there. And then I'm going to pop this back onto the double boiler until we've reached around 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'll bring you right back. All right, so we did warm this up just a little bit more. Now, it does set up rather quickly, so if you want to get it slightly above 200, you can. And I forgot to mention why I'm adding in that bee pollen powder. So it's going to act as a little tiny bit of an exfoliant, but also it's packed full of nutrients and vitamins like A and K. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and add in a really unique ingredient. Now, this is called Lumerol, and it's an oil soluble surfactant. So that means that we are actually going to get a little tiny bit of a lather from this bar, even though we are not adding any water to this bar. So it's a super cool and versatile ingredient, and I'll show you how it works when we go ahead and demonstrate at the end of the video when I demonstrate how this product works as a cleansing balm. This is going to help create just the tiniest bit of gentle lather to the cleansing bar, to the cleansing balm. And it's also going to help with some beautiful rinse-off properties that sometimes cleansing balms don't have. So we're going to go ahead and add in the Lumerol. There we go. And we're going to give this a stir to combine the Lumerol in with the melted and hot oils. All right, the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and add in a tiny bit of fragrance. You could totally leave fragrance out and just add in more argan oil here, but we're going to go ahead and add in some Nature's Garden Baby Bee Buttermilk type. It has a really light kind of oatmeal milk and honey fragrance. And then we're going to give that a stir. And then I'm going to take the temperature now and see if we're ready to add a little bit of a preservative. Okay, we definitely are. We're going to go ahead and add in some Optiphen Preservative. Optiphen is great for oil-based formulas like this one. And I'm adding in a preservative here because I just want to make sure if I'm gifting it or selling it, that if it does happen to get wet, if people store it by their sink, that we keep it nice and well preserved. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stir that in. And you kind of know this is ready to go when it's thickening up and kind of setting up on the sides like it's doing right now. Okay, so we're going to be pouring into this little cavity mold here. These are like 1 by 1 inch squares or cubes. And I just think that it's the perfect size for a little facial cleansing balm. So this is starting to set up a little bit now, so we want to go ahead and make sure we're pouring it in before it gets too set up. And I'm just going to go ahead and pour slowly into each cavity. This is a 400 gram batch that I'm making right now. So the Lumerol in here, that oil-soluble surfactant, is a game changer for me in this type of formula because I like to be able to rinse off my cleansers. I know a lot of balms you don't have to rinse them off, and you can just take like a wet, hot microfiber cloth and kind of rinse it off that way, but sometimes they still leave a little bit of a heavy residue. This is going to give you the benefits of a cleansing balm because you saw all the oils and butters that went into it, but also give you the ability to rinse it off and create a little bit of a lather. So I thought it was pretty innovative. There we go, filled up almost every single one. You'll notice that the bee pollen powder kind of does sink to the bottom. So some of it will settle to the bottom of these little squares. And I'm going to let this cool down just a bit, and then I'm going to add a little bit of botanical to the top. All right, so these are ready to add just a little bit of botanical. This isn't going to do anything except add some beauty to the little cleansing balms. So I'm adding in some whole chamomile flowers, probably just like 1 or 2 per little square. And you can tell when it's ready because it starts to develop a little bit of a film on top. That way they won't sink down, but rather they'll just kind of sit on top, but it's still wet enough that they are sticking in to the top of the bar. So I just love the way this looks. I'm just going to go ahead and add 2 little chamomiles. And you could remove these before you use them as well, just to make them a bit more user-friendly. I love the way chamomile flowers smell. And this one's kind of already setting up. There we go. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and pop this into the freezer, allow these to set up completely, and then I will bring you back to show you the next step. All right, these have been in the freezer now for about half an hour or so, and they're nice and hardened up, so it's time to go ahead and take them out. I just think they turned out so pretty. So you're just going to go ahead and stretch the mold out. You can use any shape of mold you like. These pop out very easily. And they're designed to melt on contact with your skin, much like a massage bar would. All right, I'm gonna allow these to come down a bit to room temperature, and then I'll bring you back for a use demo. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and demonstrate how these work. I'm gonna grab this one here. They do harden up a little bit over the course of about 3 to 5 days. They're gonna harden up a little bit more than they are now. However, the idea is that it melts on contact with your skin. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of, I'm gonna move this forward here. I'm gonna put a little bit of makeup on the back of my hand. Here's just some eyeliner, so you can see how this works. So we're gonna go ahead and just put a little bit of eyeliner, and I'm gonna put a little bit of makeup, eyeshadow across the back of my hand, okay? And then I'm just gonna go ahead and get my little bowl of water here ready, because I wanna show you how this product works. So like a cleansing balm, and there's the bee pollen powder on the back. Like a cleansing balm, you're just gonna rub it onto your skin. So I'm just gonna rub it onto my skin dry. And it has a super nice glide. It's melting really, really nicely onto the back of my hand here. This would be what you could do this straight on your face. See that? Just getting a nice little and then I'm going to put some on the inside of my hand just so that you guys can see how this lathers. But see how I'm getting a nice coating of the balm? Okay. then you can rub it in and just do your cleansing. But for a little bit more cleansing power, you can add a little bit of water to create a beautiful lather. See that? It lifted the makeup right off. And just a little bit of water here creates a very dense, low foam lather. And once you mix that water into the emulsifier, the BTMS 50 that we used in here creates a beautiful, silky, conditioned feeling. And then you just rinse off, and there you go. Your skin feels conditioned, it feels smooth, silky, hydrated, not dried or stripped at all. And the makeup is gone, and my skin's feeling really, really lovely. So that's it, everybody. That's how you make a beautiful, solid cleansing balm. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Leave some comments or questions below. I really like answering your questions and looking at your comments. Subscribe to my channel and share this video with a friend. All right, everybody, catch you on the next video. Bye. Keep shining.